Waves of Houthi drones are flying over Saudi Arabia and continuing to attack southern Israel. Hezbollah missiles are flying from Lebanon into the north of Israel. And of course, we got Iran out there saying that regional escalation is, quote, inevitable. The United States has 2 carriers and their task forces sitting off the coast of Lebanon and Syria in the Mediterranean Ocean. Mediterranean Sea, I guess would be more accurate, right? We seem to be thinking that there are a lot of threats happening right now in the Israel area. And while it may not be at the top of the news right now, I will say this, is that the conflict is continuing over there and it is still waiting for a major escalation, which may be coming any day. We're going to be talking about that. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant, and I dive into these things and keep an eye on what's going on out there so you guys don't have to. I want to let you know what's going on out there, try to get you in the know before it actually happens, and let you know as quickly as I can on what is happening. All right, so what's going on over in Israel? Israel has invaded Gaza. Of course, northern Gaza, they've taken most of northern Gaza. But they're starting to raise Israeli flags over northern Gaza, and they're starting to say things like Netanyahu has said that they're not going to give the land back, which the United States is not really happy with. And I promise you, with Democrats in office not liking that, the Middle East really doesn't like that. And so when Iran is out there saying that they are about to get, really antsy, they're going to get really uppity. They definitely want to, that's for sure. And so there's been some flag-raising ceremonies across Gaza with Israeli flags going up. And in some of these instances, there have been some pretty inflammatory things said by Israeli forces about these are our lands. And this is clearing the way so that Israelis can start reoccupying these lands. Yeah. So I'm not saying I disagree with them. I'm just telling you that's going to make some people's heads pop all over the world, and it already is starting to. So Israel is, they're not making friends and influencing people over there, but I don't think they really intend to at this point. Are they planning on taking the whole Gaza Strip? Because that could happen. And if that happens, there's going to be a lot of really unhappy people over there. Okay? And this is obviously a human tragedy of what's happening in Gaza. The people there is a horrible, horrible tragedy of what happened in southern Israel. And I'm not saying there's any moral equivalence here between Hamas and Israel. I'm just saying it kind of stinks for everybody. That's for sure. The civilians on both sides and people fighting on both sides. And when it comes down to it, what I'm really talking about is this conflict going to grow beyond the borders? Is this going to become a really, really horrible thing for a lot more people out there? Well, Iran has been delaying. And I guess that's the question I really want to ask here is, why is Hezbollah in Lebanon and Syria waiting? Why haven't they attacked yet? The Houthis, they've declared war and they're just lobbing missiles over there. I mean, it's kind of hopeless, but they really can't do all that much. They have to fire over Saudi Arabia, and they kind of don't want to do that. So, firing over Mecca is kind of frowned upon. So they're trying to fire these missiles and drones up the Red Sea to keep them from going over Saudi Arabia. But they're not really doing all that much, okay? The real issue is Hezbollah. Hezbollah has 150,000 missiles sitting on the border, northern border of Israel, and a lot of them are guided missiles. These are factory-produced missiles. They're not just, people pulling pipe out of the ground and putting some rocket propellant in there and firing it and hoping it goes in the right direction, okay? That's kind of what Gaza's been doing. Now, Hezbollah up in Lebanon and in Syria, they have been armed with factory-produced missiles from Iran. Okay, maybe not the most technologically savvy people on the planet, but a lot more savvy than people putting these together in their backyards, okay? So a lot of missiles are pointing at them. So here's the question. Why aren't they attacking already? You know, while Israeli army is down there messing around with the Gazans and Hamas down there, you'd think that they would be like, let's do this. You'd think that they would have jumped in it before the United States got their second carrier on station. Now, a lot of people out there are saying basically one of the reasons why they haven't moved yet was they were kind of not expecting the United States to bring so much force so fast. And because of that, it has given them pause. I kind of don't really believe that. That kind of doesn't smack of truth. So here's the options that I'm thinking about is either one, they realizing that they don't have the advantage and that they never will. And so they're kind of like, we need to pretend like we're going to threaten to do something and let's fire a couple little rockets over there. But in the end, they're not going to attack. They realize they're going to get whooped and they don't think they can win and it's not really worth it to them. So they're going to do some political posturing. They're going to be really upset about what's happening in Gaza, but ultimately they're not going to do anything. That doesn't feel right. It could be. It could be what's happening. I mean, Israel could have gone in the back channels and said, hey, listen, if you come across the border here in Lebanon, we're going to flatten the whole country. And then, you know, the Lebanese government could have picked up the phone and said, hey, hey Hezbollah, Israel says they're going to flatten our whole country, so we're going to ask you not to do that. Okay? So just don't do that. Now, can the Lebanese government actually convince Hezbollah in Lebanon not to move forward with things? Experts are not sure on that one. So they're not sure how much influence Lebanon army actually can put on Hezbollah. Hezbollah is pretty strong. Some people are kind of basically of the idea that Hezbollah is basically running Lebanon. So, you know, maybe the flattening of Lebanon may not even go into their calculations. I don't know. So perhaps they just don't think they have the advantage and they never will. And so they're just going to quit before they start. Or two, they're still getting ready. They think that they have that the situation is moving in their direction. They're bringing more forces. They're getting ready. They think Israel is going to run out of money because all the reservists are sitting around in their tanks instead of at their workplaces. Maybe they're trying to run out the clock on Israel, and then they're planning on attacking right after Israel demobilizes all of their reserves. Or I don't know. Maybe they think things are going their way, and they're just kind of waiting for it to get a little more into their favor. Maybe they think that the U.S. carriers are going to leave. I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for that. Or three, they're preparing for a surprise attack or looking for an opportunity. And this is the one that really kind of terrifies me. If they're looking for an opportunity to sink a U.S. carrier, which I think would be their dream, okay? Like they grow up with the vision of sinking a U.S. carrier. If they're waiting for the opportunity to identify the location of one of the U.S. carriers and being able to fire enough missiles at it to sink it, or at least hit it, overwhelm the missile defense systems that are encircling our carriers, waiting for our carrier to get close enough that they can attack it. Or maybe they're looking at another target. Are they looking for an opportunity for a target to do a surprise attack on? And if that's the case, then they're just waiting for the right opportunity. They're not really trying to build up forces anymore. They're ready to go tomorrow if they get the opportunity. And like I said, that's the one that terrifies me, because I really think that they really are trying to go after our carriers. And I know the people on the carriers and in the support groups and all that kind of stuff like that, they know that too. They know. But, you know, until war happens, you don't know which way things, you know, all the things that you think you know. You think our destroyers can defend our carriers. You think Hezbollah doesn't have advanced enough missiles to defeat our missile defense systems. We think so. But what happens if somebody's miscalculated? What happens if Hezbollah has a missile in their arsenal that they got from their friends up in Russia or somewhere else, and it has some special characteristics to it? What happens if it's a hypersonic missile and our defense systems can't shoot that down? What happens then? Maybe the cost of all those drones that Iran's been giving Russia has been one or two of those hypersonic missiles, and that's found its way down into Lebanon. We don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know, and we hope aren't true. So, Iran is saying that this is unavoidable. That could be just posturing. Or it could be them speaking what they believe is true, which is that they're just waiting for the opportunity to strike. Keep praying for our troops over there. Keep praying for especially our troops over on the ocean, as well as our bases in Syria and Iraq. Whether you agree with them being there or not, if they're your troops, whether you're in Canada or somewhere in Europe or Australia or here in the United States, a lot of our countries have troops over that way, and we're praying for them. Pray for the civilians. And be concerned, because there's a lot going on over there, and it's really, really a difficult situation. Friends, even if it goes off the news, I'm telling you, things are still happening over there that we need to be paying attention to. Keep getting ready, because World War III is right on the horizon. All it's going to take is just somebody doing something stupid. And there's a lot of people with weapons that have shown themselves to be doing a lot of stupid stuff over there. Hezbollah, all these knuckleheads, the Shiite militias, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. All it takes is one hothead to do something that maybe they're not even ordered to do. And it could change the entire course of what's going on over there and the course of the world forever. Just like the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, right? That sure changed started off World War I, a chain reaction. We could see a very similar kind of thing here. And like I said, my nightmare is a U.S. carrier on fire with lots and lots of U.S. casualties. If that were to happen, I know things would change. Things would definitely change really fast, and the U.S. public would be outraged, afraid, definitely angry. And whoever would do that, it would not be good for them. Bad things would happen to them. Really bad things would happen to them. And it would probably happen pretty darn fast. All right, friends, we're moving all this hardware over there for a reason. And politicians that move lots of military hardware over to a theater end up liking using it. As horrible as that is the gosh darn truth about it. All right, friends, stay safe out there. Keep getting ready. Things are probably going to get difficult in the future here. One way or another, lots of things moving. One of them is probably going to go south. And when it does, things are going to change for us. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.